Welcome back. I'm afraid it's time. It's time to go through how much it costs to go racing. You know what to do. Send your missus out shopping. Treat yourself. Go to a spa. All that sort of stuff. Do not put this on before you've treated her. Right, here we go. Before I start, can I just say, Jamie Harris, pull your finger out. Now, I did speak to Jamie at Angelsey. He did have a little bit of an off, so he did have a bit of messing about to do with his bike. And he were going to record something at Angelsey. What I will say is, Jamie is going to do a count to this. One you can actually show your missus, to be honest. It's one where it's a blag one, so you'll ask and watch that one, no issues. I'm not going to steal Jamie's idea. I would, but I'm not that sort of person. It's a brilliant idea. I think it's fantastic. If you can, go over to his channel, Jamie Harris Racing or JAS Racing, I believe it is. Go and give him a subscribe, follow him, because when it comes out, it'll be brilliant. His idea is brilliant. He just needs to get his finger out. Right, we did do Angelsey this time, and beautiful drive. It's an epic drive, but as you go into Angelsey, it is nice. Now, let's start with basics. The cost of the actual full weekend with no limits. It is no limits. 269 quid. Not bad that for a full weekend's racing. Qualifying, race 1, race 2, race 3. Not bad at all that. The test day. Angelsey did have a test day. And believe it or not, it weren't too bad. The track days has track day riders on. And if there's a track day just before a race meeting, both Donington and Brands Hatch, they're track days, not test days for some reason. Money. What tends to happen is you've got a mix of some track day riders, but literally every single racer is trying to get a position on that track day to get it, because there is no test day, and it's your only chance really. So what I will say is, track days, crash fest. The test day at Angelsey, a couple, but nothing major, no big stoppages, and it weren't every single session either. So really good, well run test day actually. So well done lads for keeping bike shiny side up. Makes a change. Now the test day at Angelsey, 159 quid. A lot cheaper than Donington. A damn sight cheaper than Brands. 289 quid that one, weren't it? 159 quid for Angelsey. What I will say is, and I'll warn you now because that'll come in later, never ever have I known a track so slippy, and it didn't rain. Not for that test day. It was red hot, and everyone was saying how slippy it were. But that'll come later, so we'll come to that later. There were no track day before it. There was a car track day, and we had to wait till 6 o'clock to get in, which is fine. So no track day for it. Bike fuel. I bought 61 quid's worth of petrol. I only had a little bit in tank. I didn't fill tank like I normally do. So I did actually fill every single can up. Every can I had were empty. 61 quid's worth, but I didn't use it. I've actually come back with about 35 litres. So bike fuel, 30 quid, £30 for actual fuel. Very, very short track. Our last race got shortened as well. Shortened. You'll have to watch that video to see why it was shortened. But 30 quid. I think that's the cheapest I've paid this year. And then diesel. Angelsey, it's its own little island, just off at top left of Wales. And for me, it was 528 mile. All motorway, to be honest. I say all motorway, that last bit into Angelsey isn't. But it's not a bad drive. I think it took me 5.5 hours there and probably the same coming back home. So 11 hours driving altogether. My ass were dead. The X5, I did use the X5 and I did take my caravan this time. My X5's a BMW X5 40D, an E70. It's got alt mods done, EGR, DPF, and it is mapped, to be honest. Only stage 1. But it's really good on fuel. Now, diesel, I weren't too thinking with this one. I did think it worked out really good. 141 quid. So what I do, I brim it before I go, and then once I set off, I fill it up when I actually get back. Well, I had to fill up when I got down there, and I had to fill up when I got back. Filled up 70 quid on way back, and then 71 quid to brim it when I got back here. So 141 quid for diesel. Mostly motorway, so we're a nice steady drive. Not like Snetterton down to A17 and all that stop-start. It weren't too bad. I'm quite happy with 141 quid for diesel, to be honest. That in total, just to go racing, that was just to go racing, 599 quid. Not bad at all, that, I think. For a full race weekend, that was the test day on Friday. Qualifying, race 1, race 2, race 3. 590 quid, 599 quid, just for that one day, that one weekend. I'm happy with that one. Right, next one's the other bits. I'll come to it. Catch you shortly. So, we've done the bit that's just to go racing. This is the other bit. This is like the costs. So, which you don't really think about. I didn't think about it before I come racing. I just thought, oh, you pay this to go racing. What a shocker. And don't forget, on this one, I do how much it costs someone who pays full price. And so someone like me, I'm on a budget I'm not sponsored. I've got nothing at all like that. What I will say, if you see a paid promotion up in top, I don't. It's just because I do name people and I do name companies, mainly friends. I don't get anything from them, but I have to put it on or else they'll demonetize. Because I'm monetized on YouTube now. So thank you for that. Subscribers, thanks a lot for subscribing. If you don't subscribe, drop us a sub. Everything helps, and hopefully I can afford to buy a brand new tyre at end of season. If you've watched these already, you know I can't afford new tyres at all. I am on a budget. I'm not on a budget. I spend my wages now. My savings are gone on this crap. But I am on a budget. I can't afford brand new. I haven't got sponsors who throw tyres at me and stuff at me. If you wanna sponsor me, by all means get in touch. But it's one of them. I'm trying to show what it costs me, but I also try and show you what it really costs if you've got a decent budget, or you've got no budget, should I say. Right, we've already got this part done. So I did get this wrong. I've got Cadwell Park before Angelsey. They're the other way. Cadwell Park is 16th, 17th of July, August. Come down, if you're at Caddy, come down, say hello. There's no actual garages, so come and try and find me. I'll be in my caravan. Go and watch my caravan one, so YouTube, so you know which caravan it is. I've converted it, you'll see. So come down, say hello and all that sort of stuff. Right, Angelsey. Now, obviously, we've just been through it. Angelsey itself was 269. Test day, no track day, don't forget, was 159. Not a bad one, that one. The petrol, 30 quid. Happy as Larry with that. And the travel was 141. Now, looking at that, even though it is the second highest. Foot mileage, I didn't think I did bad. Snetterton was only 100. I thought I spent more on that, to be honest. Bransworth longest, 178 mile. 178 pound. So that's the basics. Yeah. Now don't forget when I've got my black pen. When I do this, the one in green is full price. The one in red is me. So it is one. Now, when it comes to tyres, I did already mention that the test day was slippy as anything. And to do it, it were red hot, and everyone were not complaining, but mentioning how slippy it was, and people were chasing tyres and so forth. So a few more extra tyres got used, I will say. I definitely did, and I presume Fast Lads did. Now, initially on the test day, it was wrong play. 2 rears plus 1 front, right? 1 rear is 250 quid. Now, reason I'm saying 2 rears is because I used 2 rears, and it were literally chasing how to get grip. Initially, I went on a SC1, and I ended up putting another SC1 on, which had a lot more meat. So I did actually put 2 on, and we'll come to the other tyres I used over that weekend. So it's one of them. But I did use 2 rears, and I did put in a better front on as well. And the front weren't slipping as much. Left hand, I had loads of grip. It was just on the right. So 2 plus 1. Now, if you bought them brand new, it's... I've done it wrong already. Green. 690 quid. That's just for the test day, right? It cost me, what did it cost me? It cost me 170 quid. Reason being, I bought a front and rear for 120 quid, and then I bought a rear at the Donington round for 50 quid off someone. So that's why mine's 170 quid. Now, qualifying, get my pens mixed up. Qualifying, I bought qualifying after you've done your test day, 1 rear, and what I will say is use same front. I definitely did, and I presume Fast Lads do as well. I don't presume they just use 1 front with 2 tyres. I presume, unless you can really throw money at it and you've got brand new normally you get 4 rears to 1 front. That's how it normally works. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but normally you get 4 rears to 1 front, and that's how they tend to work. So just a rear, and I only changed the rear. I didn't put the front on. Now, if you put in a brand new one on, 250 quid. I did put another rear on because I was chasing the time, and that tyre, same again, cost me 50 quid. Because I bought a couple while I were at Donington, and that's how that one went. Race 2, that's now for race 2. I did change my tyre again, and it's because it was colder, so I put an SC1 on for race 2. Because it were in morning, it were cooler, so I did actually put an SC1 back on, which had a bit more meat on it. And it was to get that race 2. And I'm glad I did, because I got a PB. So that worked. At least I got something right for a change. Now, with race 2, I did also put a new front on. And I went from a 120 front to a 125 front, because the tyre on the back were a 65. So I put a 125 on. I've got a couple of 125s. I was just using my 120s up, to be honest. So I did put 1 front, 1 rear. Now, that's for race 2. Now, if you did that brand new, 440 quid. And it did actually cost 80 quid. Because I bought that front and a rear for 80 quid. 50 quid foot rear, 30 quid foot front. So that's a bonus. don't forget I use scrubs. These are not brand new. I'm not getting a super mega deal. Not unless you want to offer me a super mega deal. Now, race 3, the same. It's the same front, yeah. And normally for race 3, you would do the same rear, unless you're really chasing. So you normally get two races and out of a tyre. So literally you would get, for race 3, you might get, unless you're proper Premier. I know they chase tyres like no tomorrow. And it depends how you're using your tyres. Do you know what I mean? But initially, the tyres you're going to use over that weekend. That's what I'd say. If you think about that, that is literally, that's 1,380 quid in brand new tyres. If you can afford 1,380 quid in new tyres, Jesus, sponsor me and give me a load of tyres. My times will go up by 10 seconds a lap. They won't. Whereas you can see how much I pay. I paid 350 quid over that full weekend for all my tyres that I used, and I used a fair bit just chasing it. So that's the tyre situation. Now what we've got is pads. Now if you're super fast, I'll put it in green, your pads are 88 quid, right? I get them at 88 quid. Now I did get offered some better pads. Now my pads tend to use, I can get a full weekend out of my pads. Now I do swap between DC and RSTs. So I use race sintered from a test day, because I want to save my DCs, or if it's wet, because you just can't get the heat into DCs, and I don't want to waste my DCs on a test day. So I tend to use RSTs. I did used RSTs for the test day, and I had my DCs only did the last race at Donington, so I didn't have to buy any this. I didn't buy any this race weekend at all, so I'm fortunate that way. Now normally I do use this if I use a full set of DCs, which I normally use 88 quid. If you're proper professional, you'll be changing your pads professional. You'll be changing your pads. That's why I put it down, but I've not put it down in red because, like I said, I'm reusing my pads, and I will check them. I will check them before we go to Cadwell, and if there's a meat on them, I will probably use them for the test day, because there is a test day, depending on the weather. I've got another set of RSTs waiting to go in if it's crap weather. I do actually have to order some new DCs. I'll give a shout out to Craig Everson, number 77. Craig, you'll see me at pits all the time. If you want brakes, and Craig offered me some really good brakes, and he said they'd last me full season. Pads, sorry, not brakes, brake pads. And I just can't afford that price all in one, that's all. So, but I will give him a shout out, because Craig does help a lot of lads out. And if you do want your pads, your levers, you name it, go and see Craig. He can sort you out with some stuff like that. And this is why I said, it says paid promotion up there at the start, but I'm not paid. He's just a friend who's racing and is trying to help everyone else. So go and see Craig. Get some brake pads if you can afford it. I can't afford that at the minute. I'm having to do it on a budget, like I said. But it might be something. If them pads are as good as he says and they can last, like, let's say 4 race weekends instead of 1 race weekend, which they're currently doing, then it'll work out a lot better, because it'll be like 250 quid rather than 400 quid. But I just can't at this minute. That's the one. Right, so that's brake pads. Now we've got to miscellaneous. Now miscellaneous is, I changed my oil, the filter, I'm not going to put water down because I only had to top my water up. I still owe Lenny some distilled water from last one. I forgot about getting redoing it, but I did help him out, so he can let me off for now. Now, with that, I had nothing else. Like I said, my bike's running spot on, apart from overeating, which that'll be the cost in the next one, because what I've done is, let me just reach over. I've got brand new thermostat. Bought it from, believe it or not, BMW again. Second time I've gone to BMW, and it's cheaper than anywhere else. I had to wait a few days for it to come from Germany. It's a proper, authentic thermostat. Hopefully that'll stop the overeating issue I've got. But apart from that, my bike's running perfect. Didn't have to buy anything for it, so I've just looked after it, changed oil, changed filter. I put new brake fluid in. I know I don't have to, but in my head, if I change it while I'm doing oil, hey, I'm happy. Now, the oil, I have said, I do want to change my oil. Shell has changed it from Shell Power Racing to Shell Ultimate. Now, they've gone back to the goldy colour one instead of the pink. I did ask the Lodge Brothers. The Lodge Brothers do endurance, and I did ask if they've ever changed oil without changing clutch plates. I've never done that because I've always been worried about slip. But they're like, yeah, I've done it loads of times. So you don't have an issue. So I might change to Motul one. Motul, if you're listening, throw some oil. I'll promote you. I do like Motul. I've got it in all my other bikes, to be honest. So. But it's my racing one. It came with Shell, but I'd love to change it back to Motul 300. To be honest, I use Motul brake fluid. Like I said, I'm not sponsored or anything. I'd love to use it, so it is one of them. Now the oil cost me 50. Oh yes, red. 54 quid, and the filter was just a tenner. So it's just a normal high flow filter. I did buy the racing one last time, which is just a nut on top. Con. That is mainly because I've got no other outgoings on that, apart from, and I'm not putting them on. Now, last time I did put on a van because my car broke down. It had a water leak. That's been fixed. I had to pay for dyno, I had to buy a quick shifter, micro switch, that were all on the last one. The van, I did put that on there because I had to pay for it to go racing. And this time, I did get my car fixed. What I will say is, not only did I get the water leak fixed, I also noticed the front tyres had gone as well. So I had to buy 2 front tyres for an X5. 600 quid. I'm not putting it on. That £600 for the car, I'd class as general wear and tear on the car. Nothing to do with racing, so I'm not going to put it into this because it's just general. I use my car not just for racing, I use it for everything else. So I'm not going to put that 600 quid. It had a water leak, and that went from, it could have been. Taxman it were. Yeah, definitely. But no, it weren't from racing, so I'm not going to put the cost of fixing my car on it. If it was something while I went racing, I would, but it isn't, so that's that one. Let's get to totals. Now, if you were paying full price, now this is including the race, this is including all of this is including your tyres, right? It'd be £2,131. Expensive weekend, not the most expensive. Donington, but that's only because at Van Hire, if you look up here, Brands was a dear one. But this is purely, I'll say this, that is down to tyres. It was just so, everyone was saying how slippy it was, and people were just throwing tyres at it left, right and centre. 2,131. So that's what that is. Me, 1,013 quid. It's still expensive, don't tell our lass. So it's still a fair bit. And if you look over full lot, do you know what I mean? Now, what I will say is, if you start adding them up, make sure she's out. We are past the halfway mark, so we've got 5 in. We've got another 3 rounds left. Now, if you can throw money in it, and you're paying full price, you're buying tyres left, right, and centre, throwing it all, and still coming, you know, and still having me overtake you. You know, that don't happen, does it? I'm at back, but I'm loving it. If you can, already you've spent over 10 grand. You've spent over 10 grand. Where on earth have you got that money from? Have you got any kidneys left? Because I bet you've sold them. So you can see how racing does cost, and this is amateur racing. This isn't professional. As an amateur, what I'm going to say is it's still expensive. I spent what, 5,700. I hope she don't hear me. I'm in shit. No. I've spent 5,700, literally, and I mean just over half of what you'd pay, and it is mainly down to this bit. This is mainly the bit. It's these tyres, and yes, if you've got new tyres, you're gonna go faster. You got more grip, and I totally understand it. But I'm amateur racing. It's my first ever year racing, and I am so enjoying it. I love it. It is absolutely fantastic. But I can't afford them tyres. And I know it sounds like I'm crying all the time about how much it costs, but I want you to understand it's not cheap. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. Every single I've spent racing is absolutely worth, apart from race 1 at Angelsey. I had proper issue for it. I had to go and have a word with me son. Every single penny I've spent racing has put a smile on my face every single minute I think about racing, which is most of the time, to be honest, and it's absolutely fantastic. So even though it is expensive, it's one where I just hope by end of season I'm still loving it as much as I do. I can't justify paying 10 grand. If I had to, and don't get me wrong, if you've got sponsors and all that sort of stuff, happy days doing. Make sure if you have got sponsors and they're funding your tyres, especially your tyres, make sure you thank them. Make sure you're giving them something back. Do you know what I mean? Make sure you are acknowledging that, because it's a massive, massive cost. Now, I don't have sponsors. I don't have any of that. Do you know what I mean? I go racing and I love racing. I will. Hopefully one day someone wants to sponsor and join the journey. I'm racing next year, and I'm going to be coming out of newcomers, because I'm not a newcomer anymore. After this year, I will be at Cup Thou, and I'm not going to be at front, but I will be documenting it like this again. But it'll be with big boys, and there'll be newcomers a lot faster than me who'll come through. And I hope you watch this as someone who's thinking about coming racing. Look at the cost. Just what I'll say is save a little, get to know lads. Now, unfortunately, I saw someone selling some tyres at Angelsey, and if you're watching this, you've already watched me race 3. Peed it down, and I mean peed it down. And as I was like packing up, I saw someone were selling a load of tyres. I thought, oh, I'll go and see them. Because he had a price on them. By the time I'd finished packing, because it rained, he'd gone. And I was like, damn. If you were selling tyres and there were 200 rears, give us a shout out. I'll have a look at them for Cadwell. I'm getting a bit sparse on tyres now. I've got a million tyres, but they're all wrong ones for racing. I've got TDs, which I've got treaded, which I'm keeping for something. I have just bought some off eBay, not as good as I thought, but I bought a rear and a front. The front's absolutely spot on. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, fronts are always spot on, but the one I bought off eBay, it didn't really show the true. Yeah, it's one. Hey, that's what you do when you're buying scrubs. Do you know what I It'll probably get me at Cadwell, because I know Cadwell. It'll probably get me 3 sessions on the test day, that tyre I've just bought. It's better than using one of the tyres I save for racing, to be honest. But that's how it goes. Right, I have babbled on for long enough. If you're enjoying it, drop us a sub. Like I said, any money I make on this from YouTube is actually going to a tyre. So I've got Cadwell and Alton. Next one's Cadwell, and then we've got Alton. And if I can make enough money, Donington, new rear tyre, and it'll be thanks to you. From watching, from subscribing, and just following journey. Right, I'm going to sign off there. And if you're enjoying it, like I said, like, subscribe, all that crap. Right, catch you later.